Yeah, what do you make of that? First of all, to get out of Alameda at that time would have been what we know as a stop loss order on Wall Street. And you have to be an experienced trader to put in a stop loss because you have to do something your ego tells you not to do. And so, yeah, it would have been a good thing to do, but this was probably newish there. They didn't do a lot of stop losses at Alameda, I heard. He was well into Washington, a lot of public donations to the Democratic Party. He said a lot of private donations to the Republican Party. And now, obviously, that entire city is now trying to flip or revise their relationships with him. Did you know much about what he was doing there? I know he was working on regulation, also working with the SEC and Gary Gensler, which is now prosecuting him. Also, he didn't show up to be scheduled for his hearing, and a lot of people, even in Congress, found that odd. What do you make of all that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot there. So let me start with the obvious. I think the right-wing media was about to have a big cabal that, oh, look at what the left's doing, and he was a big left-wing donor, and la. And, they were about the conspiracy theory, the left, and Maxine Waters, blah, blah. But then they discovered that Sam actually sent roughly the equal amount of money to Republicans. He did it through one of his executives. He lent the executive money, and that executive funneled it into the Republican Party. He did it through these nameless, obscure LLCs that were difficult to trace back to him. And so now the media is like, oh, we can't really go after the right wing, can't go over the left wing argument. The left wing can't go after the right wing argument. So they're stuck. Okay, because he did it to everybody. And I find something delicious about that, actually, because of the 11-day PhD that I got in Washington scumbaggery. I find it delicious in some ways. But here's what I would say. Despite all that, the justice system, the guys I know at the DOJ, they don't care. Okay, he broke the law. He's going to jail. They're going to go after him. You understand what I'm saying? And I think it's that simple. So,
is it odd he didn't testify on Tuesday?
Well, the right wing says that it's odd. The right wing says that they bagged him before he would testify. The Department of Justice sources at the Department of Justice who don't care left or right wing did not want any more potential jurors queered by his testimony. Okay, because the feedback coming out of the Andrew Sorkin interview was, okay, he's probably guilty, but he looks like my errant grandson. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. You remember, you only need 1 out of 12 and you get an acquittal. I think the Department of Justice was like, okay, I'm getting this guy off the stage because the nonsense that he's spewing is inaccurate. It's factually not accurate. And I don't want him to queer any more jurors. And I think that's probably more accurate. That's my honest opinion. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know what I mean?
What did you make of the congressional hearing and the Senate hearing? I mean, for me, it's just fascinating theater as I saw politicians seem to be campaigning, running over John Ray and asking him to comment on regulation. And then the next day, you had Leary up there, who I know the crypto community is slating Leary lately, but he actually went out of his way to push the viability of crypto into the face of some pretty headstrong senators there. And I actually appreciate the points that he made. They had some other goombas on that 4-person panel that honestly knew nothing about DeFi or crypto and said some outlandish, ridiculous things that it's a purely gambling instrument. I don't know. What did you see from those 2 hearings?
Well, I'm obviously going to get really in trouble here because I saw a lot of uninformed politicians. I saw a lot of ill-prepared politicians. I thought the questioning was naive, and I thought the questioning was really from grade school beginners on the blockchain and crypto. It's a little bit better when the Senate got involved, but it was really, when you get somebody like Elizabeth Warren up there, she's like the class scold. Okay, so she hates the big banks, but she's apparently a progressive and she's for the underbanked. But the solution for the underbanked is actually the blockchain. But wait a minute, I hate the blockchain too because Mike Novogratz made $1 billion and I hate rich people. So therefore, I can't like the blockchain. I can't like the big banks. And let me get out there and scold people. I don't know. I don't think that there's any progress made that way. I'm hoping guys like Emmer okay, guys like McHenry, who get the blockchain and recognize that they don't want U.S. leadership to be ceded to other places around the world. Hong Kong just announced a Bitcoin futures ETF. You know, there's several cash ETFs for Bitcoin in Canada. There's ETPs in Europe that are cash Bitcoin ETPs. The United States, 25% of the world's economy, still arguably one of the world's largest, if not the largest economy, is going to seed the financial revolution. It's been at the top of the food chain for financial services for the last 125 years. But now we're going to listen to Elizabeth Warren and we're going to block the United States from advancing. And what if we're wrong? And what if crypto goes to zero? So what? So what? That's what the United States is. This is a risk-taking culture. This is a risk-taking, venture-like group of people. We take risks. You know, when the technology came into place for fracking, if you didn't have risk takers, you didn't have Wall Street, you didn't have venture, you would have never gotten the oil out of these wells. You know, you and I are old enough to remember peak oil, Brian. I sat in a class in the mid 80s and they told me peak oil, we're running out of oil. By 2010, there'll be no oil left on planet Earth. I said, oh my God, that's going to be terrible. We're not going to be able to transfer over to carbon-less or carbon-free energy. How are we going to do this? You know, it's 1985. That's 25 years from now. How are we going to do this? Lo and behold, like everything in life, our technology is moving exponentially. Our thought process is moving linearly. And we came up with the technology. So what do you want to do? You want to stop innovation? You want to stop production? You know, they thought they had it with cold fusion. They got it wrong. Okay. But they may figure out something about how the sun works at some point, and that may be created here on Earth. And before you know, we'll be cleaning up the environment again. You know, I don't know. But what I do know is I am betting on the future. That's what I know. And I'm going to be taking risk well into the future at the best of my capability.
The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.